Hello. Mainly tutorial 2 focuses on the skills of managers. Mainly to list out the skills of managers and the correlation between the level of management and certain skills. And we will try to discover how these various skills play a significant role in delivering the goals and objectives of organization. So we'll come to the next tutorial, which is about the classification of managerial skills. So quiz number 6. Which of the following skills is the most essential for the manager to bring out the best from people under him? So this quiz about how to affect on the people under manager. So it's talking about the relationship between various levels. So which of the following skills is the most essential for the manager to bring out the best from people under him? Given 4 options: A. Human skills, B. Technical skills, C. Mechanical skills, D. Conceptual skills. Please make stress the question about the relation between various groups of employees inside the organization. So let's state firstly what stands behind skill. A skill is an individual's ability to translate knowledge into action. Hence, it is manifested in an individual's performance. A skill is not necessarily inborn. It can be developed through practice and through relating learning to one's own personal experience and background. In order to be able to successfully discharge his roles, a manager should possess 3 major skills. These are conceptual, human relation skills, and technical skills. Conceptual skills deal with the ideas, technical skill with things, and human skill with people. Return back to our question: which of the following skills is the most essential for the manager to bring out the best from people? So this skill deals with the people. Human skill deals with the people. While both conceptual and technical are needed for good decision making, human skills is necessary for a good leader. human skills, human relations skill is the ability to interact effectively with people at all levels. Regardless, this skill develops in the manager sufficient ability first to recognize the feelings and sentiments of others, to judge the possible action to and outcomes of various courses of action he may undertake. C. To examine his own concepts and values, which may enable him to develop more useful attitudes about himself. This type of skill remain consistently important for managers at all levels. So, human skills present a manager's knowledge and ability to work with people. This is most essential for manager to bring out the best from people under him. Managerial skills. As far as Lee define what stands behind skill. Skill is an individual's ability to translate knowledge into action, to convert knowledge to action. Hence, it is manifested in an individual performance. Skill is not necessarily important. It can be developed through practice and through relating learning to one's own personal experience and background. In order to be able to successfully discharge his roles, a manager should possess three major skills. These are conceptual skill, human relations skill, and technical skill. Conceptual skill deals with ideas. Technical skill with things, while human skills with people. While both conceptual and technical skills are needed for good decision making, human skills is necessary for a good leader. The requirements, human skill is the requirement of leadership. Conceptual management or conceptual skill. The conceptual skill refers to the ability of a manager to take a broad and far-sighted view of the organization and its future. It's about brainstorming, thinking. So, ability of a manager to take a broad and far-sighted view of the organization and its future. Manager ability to think in abstract. His ability to analyze the forces working in a situation. His creative and innovative ability and his ability to assess the environment and the change taking place in it. In short, it is his ability to conceptualize the environment, the organization, and his own job so that he can set appropriate goals of his organizations for himself and for his team. This skills seems to increase in importance as managers move up to higher position or responsibility in the organization. So this, it seems, is more relevant to the top management. Human relations skill is the ability to interact effectively with people at all levels. This skill develops in the manager sufficient ability. A. To recognize the feelings and sentiments of others. To judge the possible actions to and outcomes of various courses of actions he may undertake. 3 or C. To examine his own concepts and values which may enable him to develop more useful attitude about himself. This type of skills remain consistently important for managers at all levels. At the top level, for example, technical skills becomes least important. That is why people at the top shift with great ease from one industry to another without an apparent fall in their efficiency. Their human and conceptual skills seem to make up for their unfamiliarity with new jobs' technical aspect. So, human relation skills require for all the levels of management. Technical management or technical skill. The technical skill is the manager's understanding of the nature of job that people under him have to perform. It refers to a person's knowledge and proficiency in any type of process or technique. In a production department, this would mean an understanding of technicalities of the process of production, whereas this type of skill and competence seems to be more important at the lower levels of management. Its relative importance as a part of the managerial role diminishes as the manager moves to the higher position. In higher functional positions, such as the position of marketing manager or production manager, the conceptual component related to these functional areas becomes more important and the technical component becomes less important. So, as you see, is more relevant to the lower levels of management, but the also is needed by the middle level of management. Human relations skill is the ability to interact effectively with people at all levels. This skill develops in the manager sufficient ability. A. To recognize the feelings and sentiments of others. To judge the possible actions to outcomes of various courses of actions he may undertake. 3 or C. To examine his own concepts and values which may enable him to develop more useful attitude about himself. This type of skills remain consistently important for managers at all levels. At the top level, for example, technical skills becomes least important. That is why people at the top shift with great ease from one industry to another without an apparent fall in their efficiency. Their human and conceptual skills seem to make up for their unfamiliarity with new jobs' technical aspect. So, human relation skills required for all the levels of management. Question 7. If an individual have ability to solve a difficult situation by doing analysis and deep diagnosis, then she has blank skills: technical, interpersonal, leadership, and conceptual. So, the ability to solve a difficult situation by doing what? Analysis and diagnosis. That is about thinking, about knowledge, respectively. The correct answer is conceptual. Conceptual skills are ways of thinking that help you understand hard or critical situation. A person with a strong conceptual skills can formulate innovative plan of actions. So, what help manager to solve critical situation? The basic tool that help a manager to solve this critical situation is knowledge. To how to use this knowledge in the process of solution. So a person with strong conceptual skills can formulate innovative plan of actions. On the other hand, Interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skill somehow is sub skill of conceptual skill. It is a part of conceptual skills. From the hand of the knowledge of how to create a relationship among your employees. But mostly interpersonal skills belongs to the human skills rather than conceptual skills. As we stated before, technical as well as human skills need a source of knowledge or conceptual approach to create and develop these skills. So interpersonal skills refer to successfully communicate and engage to correlate with others both one-on-one and in small groups. Leadership. Leadership it is a function of management more than skill. Leadership skills mean the capacity to allocate tasks, motivate subordinates, and convey ideas clearly are essential leadership ability. Leadership ability. So I guess that leadership is the function more than it is skill. So conceptual skills is ability to solve a difficult situation by exploiting the knowledge, the analysis and diagnosis. So the red answer is the correct answer. The red answer is the correct answer. Quiz 8. Efficiency is a measure of 1. How hard an employee works. B. How effectively manager supervises his subordinates. C. How profitable a business is. D. How productively resources are used to achieve goals. So let's use this opportunity to distinguish between efficiency and effectiveness. The term is efficiency and effectiveness sometimes are to be the same, and sometimes it's used in place of each other or interchangeably. Actually, both are different. Efficiency and effectiveness are two terms that are most commonly used in management. Efficiency refers to that act of performing activity with the minimum cost or wastage of time, and optimum usage of resources so that the work done is faster and in an error-free manner. From another hand, effectiveness is a broader concept than efficiency, and it is related to the extent to which work is done in order to achieve the desired or targeted outcomes. In other words, we can say it is the extent to which someone or something is successfully towards meeting the desired outcome. So, efficiency is act of performing activity with minimum cost. Effectiveness is a broader concept than efficiency. Okay. Mathematically speaking, efficiency refers to the relation between output and resources, while effectiveness refers to the relation between actual output and planned output. Okay, so both these concepts are widely used for assessing the performance of the employees in an organization. So, from the point of definition, efficiency refers to the act of performing activities with minimum waste of time and optimum usage of resources so that the work is done faster and in an error-free manner. The definition of effectiveness is the extent to which someone or something is successful towards meeting the desired outcome. Look, the desired outcome or planned outcome, the relation between the desired outcome and actual outcome. It is a metric. Effectiveness, it is a metric. Efficiency focuses on doing the assigned task in a correct way. Efficiency focuses on doing the assigned task in a correct way, while effectiveness doing the assigned task accurately according to plan. Efficiency also is focused on the inputs and outputs, the relation between the outputs and resources, while effectiveness is focused on the extent to which work is done. Evaluation, actually, assessment of plan and the end result achieved. Efficiency is effort oriented, while effectiveness is not effort oriented. It is a result oriented. Efficiency also is more operation oriented, while effectiveness is more strategy oriented. Efficiency is time oriented, while effectiveness is not time oriented. It deals with the final result. It deals with the final result. So this is a difference between efficiency and effectiveness. The questions about the essence of efficiency as a measure, given that efficiency measures how hard an employee work, how effectively manager supervises his subordinates, and how profitable a business. The last option, how productively resources are used to achieve goals. Efficiency means how to carry out tasks with least amount of resources or optimal allocation. It focuses in qualitative production with reasonable cost. Efficiency is immeasurable and it can be expressed as ratio. It can be expressed as ratio. So if we would like to design a mathematical formula, so efficiency equals to outputs over resources. Effectiveness equals to actual outputs over planned outputs. So here, because these two terms mostly are used interchangeably, that's why we need to distinguish between these two terms to avoid the confusion of عمارات وفنادق. Oh, nonsense, doesn't make sense. Quiz 9. What skills enable a manager to motivate employees, to promote employees? Is it sales, marketing, interpersonal, or technical? Firstly, let us state that sales skills, sales or marketing are not included in managerial skills. So the competition between two answers, either interpersonal or technical. Using this opportunity, let me highlight the issues around the interpersonal skills, the various ability including under the title of interpersonal skills. So interpersonal skills are skills we use every day when we communicate and interact with other people, both individual and in groups. People with strong interpersonal skills are often more successful in both their professional and personal lives. That's correct. Interpersonal skills include a wide variety of skills, though many are centered around communication. Human skills such as listening, questioning, and understanding body language, for example. They also include the skills and attributes associated with emotional intelligence, or being able to understand and manage your own and others' emotions. People with good interpersonal skills tend to be able to work well in a team or group and with other people more generally. People with good interpersonal skills are therefore vital in all areas of life, at work, in education, and socially. Through awareness of how you interact with others and with practice, you can improve your interpersonal skill. This section of skill you need is full of information and practical advice that you can use to improve and develop your interpersonal skill. So we have all developing our interpersonal skill since childhood. Which often become so natural that we take them for granted, never thinking about how we communicate with other people. If you have developed good habits, this is fine. However, it is of course also possible to develop bad habits and then fail to understand why our communication or relationship are suffering because we develop a bad habit. However, with a little time and effort, you can develop both your awareness and these skills. Good interpersonal skills can improve many aspects of your life, both successfully and socially, as they lead to better understanding and better relationship. Interpersonal skills generally considered to include a wide range of skills such as communication skills, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, listening skills, emotional intelligence, teamwork, negotiation, influences skill, conflict resolution and mediation skills, problem solving and decision making skills. We consider our mentioned skills as the part of interpersonal skills. improving and developing your interpersonal skill is the best done in steps, starting with the most basic but vital. First, identify areas for improvement. Second, improve or focus on your basic communication skills. Identify areas of improvement. Focus on your basic communication skills. This is very required. Improve your more advanced communication skills. Look in words, this is your language, and use the practice your interpersonal skills. Reflect on your experience and improve, etc. So, according to above mentioned statements, the correct answer is interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills are skills that present the manager's ability to interact, work, and relate effectively with people. Again, they are more but restricted three skills: conceptual, technical, and human. So, skills which enable a manager to motivate employees, to encourage employees, to promote employees is an interpersonal skills. That is correct approach to build an interrelationship among your organization. Interpersonal skills more closer to the middle level of management or managers. Technical skills is about the behavior of lower managers, foreman, supervisors. Role performed by managers. For this purpose, there are three roles performed by managers: interpersonal, informational, and decisional roles. 3. Interpersonal, informational, and decisional roles. Interpersonal roles has three sub roles: figurehead, leader, legend. In this role, figurehead, in this role, every manager has to perform some duties of ceremonial nature, such as greeting the touring dignitaries, attending the wedding of an employee, taking important customer to lunch, and so on. It is like a social role. Leader role. As a leader, every manager must motivate and encourage his employees. He must also try to consolation their individual needs with the goals of organization. Reconciliation their individual needs with the goals of the organization. Vision. In this role, every manager must cultivate contact outside his vertical chain of command to collect information useful for his organization. So, interpersonal role consists of three sub-roles: figurehead, leader, and legion role. So these are the main interpersonal contents: legion, leader, and figurehead. Okay, the role of a coordinator in a team is to: first is to create conflicts among team members, is to minimize communication channels, is to facilitate collaboration and resolve conflicts. None of the above given. Let us allocate firstly a few minutes for the basics. What are the tasks of a coordinator? Consider the management and coordination related work package in a project proposal, or already in the description of action. What tasks are listed there? Is everything mentioned? Do you know your tasks and responsibilities? Below the list of tasks that regularly appear in the management coordination work package depending on the complexity of the project. So, scientific coordination and administrative coordination. Setting up an overall management structure. Preparation of all project meetings. Kick-off activities of the project and kick-off meeting. Generating a project plan. Developing a quality assurance plan and monitoring deliverables process accordingly. Risk management and contingency planning. So, legal and IPR coordination. IPR management, managing and protecting IPR, drafting and signing a consortium agreement, for example, managing financial aspects including payments, financial reporting, reallocation, and other financial activities in the project, sustainability and exploitation, communication, internal as well as external, some gender issues. See the main roles and responsibility of a coordinator. Act as a single legal representative of the company. Keep the project on track. Initiate changes in work content. Handle the advance payment and interim installments. The above mentioned tasks shall be subcontracted or others. Keeping the address list of members, collecting, reviewing and submitting information, initiating, preparing the meetings, proposing decisions, and preparing the agenda. The above required a good communication quality assurance and monitoring system and procedures. Everyday management. Establish effective communication. Manage where content changes. Monitor project performance. Handle disagreement. Interpret the work content to partners. Control spending. Deal with extreme situation and be sensitive to cultural and gender differences. These also are required. So, a coordinator plays a crucial role in promoting effective communication, coordination, and teamwork within a team. By facilitating collaboration, a coordinator helps team members work together towards common goals, ensuring that everyone is aligned and contributing their skills and expertise align the final goals of organization. The red answer is said to be the correct answer. So the main role of a coordinator in a team is to facilitate collaboration and resolve conflicts. This is a perfect answer among other options. Quiz 11. Dash pointed out effective way depends upon the harmony of objectives. These statements articulated by Peter Drucker or Frederick Taylor, Henry Foyle or Philip Kotler. The statements is effective way depends upon the harmony of objectives. So the condition of effectiveness is a harmony of objectives. Firstly, let us highlight the role of Frederick W. Taylor in the process of management development. Frederick W. Taylor, 1856 up to 1915, is known as a father of scientific management. He was an American mechanical engineer, and he was known for his methods to improve industrial efficiency. 1911, he summed up his efficiency techniques in his book, The Principle of Scientific Management. In order to make direction more effective, certain principles are followed: harmony of objectives, maximum individual contribution, unity of command, direct supervision, and motivation. So let us screen out the long history of the harvest of Frederick Taylor. His ideas about management grew out of his wide-ranging experience in 3 companies. Taylor developed 4 principles of scientific management. Let's try to list these 4 principles and its relevance to management activities. First, develop a science of each job with standardized work implements and efficient methods for all to follow. Speaking with the language of management activity, this means to complete time and motion study to determine the best way to do each task. The second principle is scientifically select workers with the skills and abilities that match each job and train them in the most efficient ways to accomplish tasks. So, the relevant management activity is to use job description to select employees, set up formal training system, and establish optimal work standards to follow. Third principle is to ensure cooperation through incentives. This means promotions, and provide the work environment that reinforces optimal. The relevance management activity is to develop incentives to pay remuneration such as piece rate system to reward productivity and encourage safe condition by using proper implements. The last principle is to divide responsibility for managing and for working while supporting individuals in work groups for what they do best. Some people are more. The relevance is to promote leaders who guide, not do the work. Create a sense of responsibility for group results by planning tasks and helping workers to achieve those results. As an engineer and consultant, Taylor observed and reported on what he found to be inexcusably inefficient work practices, especially in steel industry. Tyler believes that workers' output was only about one-third of what was possible. Therefore, he set out to correct the situation by applying scientific methods. Tyler's philosophy and ideas are given in his book Principles of Scientific Management, published in 1911. Tyler concluded that scientific management involves a complete mental revolution on the part of both workers and management. Without his mental revolution, scientific management does not exist. Does not exist. So, scientific management, according to Frederick Tyler, means application of scientific methods to the problem of management. It conducts a business or affairs by standards established by facts or truths gained through systematic observation, experiments, or reasoning. The following individuals contribute in development scientific management school of management ZO. They dedicated to the increase in efficiency of labor by the management of the workers in the organization's technical core. They are Charles Babbage, Frederick Tyler, Henry Gantt, Frank and Lillian Those writers designed a scientific methods in management. Finally, we can state that according to above mentioned history, that Frederick Tyler pointed out effective way depends upon the harmony of objectives. Actually, he selected 5 ways of effectiveness: harmony of objectives, maximum individual contribution, unity of command, direct supervision, and motivation. The last is 12 quiz. Coordination is the essence of management. This is Henry Foyle statement, Peter Drucker statement, or Mary Parker statements, Kuntz and O'Donnell. The correct answer for the given question is Kuntz and O'Donnell. In their book, Kuntz and O'Donnell, Principles of Management, have stated that the coordination is the essence in management. They are coordination function of management. Coordination refers to the process of synchronizing the activities and effort of different individuals or groups towards the achievement of common goals of organization. Coordination involves integrating, harmonizing, and balancing various functions and activities of an organization, such as planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Effective coordination ensures that the organization's resources are utilized efficiently, goals are achieved with the minimum conflict, and the organization adapt to the change in the environment. So why Concern O'Donnell emphasizes on the significance of coordination? Because according to their viewpoint, they consider that the effective coordination leads to utilization of resources efficiently and to minimize the cost of goals. That means to achieve goal with minimum conflict. Under conflict, they meant various sources of conflict: physical, human, and technical conflicts. The last leads to adapt the organization to the change in the environment. Adaptation to the internal as well as external environment. So the perfect answer is coordination is the essence of management. This statement is created by Kuntz and O'Donnell. Coordinating. Coordinating the function of establishing such relationship among various parts of the organization that they all together pull in the direction of organizational objectives. So, to coordinate the interrelationship between various entities of organization. Of course, the final goal is to implement the objectives of the organization. So based on that, it is thus the process of tying together all the organizational decisions, operations, activities, and efforts so as to achieve unity of action of the accomplishment of organizational objectives. So actually the coordinating function is the link between various parts of the organization. Coordinating is the function of establishing a relationships between various entities of the organization. So the aim of establishing such relationships is to pull in the direction of organizational achievement. It is thus the process of tying, correlating, integrating actually together all the organizational decisions, operations, activities, and effort. So let's make stress on the following. Decisions is about the formulations of objectives and plans. Operation, the process of implementation of those objectives through various parts or departments. Activities, as you know, the function, the identification of activities is a function of organizing. And effort of human resources, etc. The goal of this integration or cooperation or correlation of actions is the accomplishment of organizational objectives. Accomplishment of organizational objective. The importance or the significance of the coordinating process has been aptly highlighted by Mary Parker. The manager, in his or her view, should ensure that he has an organization with all its parts coordinated, so moving together in their closely knit and adjusting activities, so linking, interlocking, and interrelationship, that they make a working unit which is not a congeries of separate pieces, but that I have called a functional whole of integrative unity. This definition of coordination given by Mary Farber. So some complexity in this definition. Coordination as a management function involves the following sub-function. Cause, coordinating as all other function has its sub-functions.